doing, we're going to verify this trig identity. And I noticed that on the right-hand side of the equation, it's just sine plus cosine here. We have tan and cotan on the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do is write these in terms of sine and cosine and then simplify. So the first thing we're going to do is take our equation, write this as cosine of theta divided by 1 minus, and tangent is sine divided by cosine. Okay, and then we have plus sine of theta, and do the same thing. 1 minus cosine of theta divided by sine of theta. And that's for our cotan. Now, we're going to just simplify the denominator for now. And we want, if you put these in fraction form, we want the denominator for our denominator to be cosine. So if I change this to cosine here, I have to also multiply my numerator by cosine. Just right over it. Same here, I need this to be sine, to have the same denominator. So I have to also multiply my numerator by sine. All right, so that's going to give me cosine of theta divided by cosine theta minus sine theta divided by cosine of theta. I'll just put this under each pieces. Similarly, I have sine of theta divided by sine of theta minus cosine of theta divided by sine of theta. So we just got the common denominators here. Note that when you have something like what our form is a divided by, I call this a, b, and c. What we have is a divided by b over c. So what we're going to do is keep, change, and flip. So that means I can multiply these two together. That's going to make it a little easier. So let's do that. We're going to get cosine, let me scoot it over. We get cosine squared of theta divided by cosine theta minus sine theta plus sine squared theta divided by, what do we have? Sine theta minus cosine theta. So I just multiplied these. That was that step. All right, we also notice that I need to get the common denominator here. And what you have is this is flip-flopped. So what you want to do is, let's write this like this. Cosine minus sine of theta. So what that means we're going to do is we're going to take this term here, and I'm going to negate both of it. I'm going to negate sine squared of theta, or just multiply it by 1. Also the denominator. Now I'm going to keep this the same. So that's just going to be negative. But what happens with this changes this to cosine theta minus sine. Whoops. Sine, I'm too close to the bottom here. This is just going to be cosine of theta minus sine of theta. Because I negated this, it's going to be negative sine plus cosine. Then I arranged it. So now I have the same denominator. The only difference is I'm going to change this to a negative. Because when you do the negative, you have to do it to both the numerator and the denominator. So now what we have, sorry about that, is cosine squared of theta minus sine squared of theta. And my denominator is now common, the common denominator, cosine of theta minus sine of theta. All right. So remember, this is what we're looking for. This has the form a squared minus b squared, our numerator does, where our a is cosine and our b is sine. So what we want to do, this part here equals a minus b times a plus b. So I'm going to write that and expand it. This is going to be cosine minus sine times cosine plus sine. Running out of room here. Divided by cosine theta minus sine theta. Now what happens is these cancel, and I'm going to rewrite this. This is going to be cosine of theta plus sine of theta, which is what we wanted. I mean, they're in different orders. You can rearrange it, but since we have positive, it doesn't really matter. So this is sine of theta plus cosine of theta. And that's your final answer. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.